Waheguru Ji Ka Khalsa, Waheguru Ji Ki Fateh. Welcome to the Sikh Channel Business Show. I'm very pleased today to be joined by James Pennington from Nuneaton. James, welcome to the Sikh Channel.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
James is best described as an online marketing expert. James, can you tell us a little bit more about your work and what you do?
Okay, well, we work with any size business really, from startup right through to a large organisation, helping them understand how to exploit digital marketing. So how can I actually grow my business by increasing reach online? So we cover all aspects: analytics, data analysis, advertising campaigns. So if it falls in there, if there's the internet involved, we try and help companies understand what it is they can do to make that work better for them.
Online and internet is now a huge part of our lives, and particularly a big part of the business world in terms of generating work and leads for business. We all go onto Google and search for all sorts of things. So you help to connect people searching online with businesses. Is that right?
Yeah, it's one of the main things. The biggest problem most small and medium businesses do is they just launch themselves into it with no real plan or no action of what they're trying to get. So we help them understand the messaging and where they add the value, and then help them and teach them how to actually physically do it in the real world.
Because it's a very competitive area.
Definitely.
In terms of what you do, are there lots of people who provide your service?
There are lots of people out there. There's lots of people who will do search engine optimization, for instance, and paid advertising campaigns, mainly agencies, but there's a lot of small players. We tend to focus more on the what's happening. So looking at how you're performing in order to improve what you're doing, and then work with companies or agencies to help them improve somebody's digital marketing.
And how important is it for a small business to look at online for new work and new clients? Is it important, or is it just for the likes of Amazon who are searching for consumers and the very big brands? Is it really so important for small or new businesses?
Oh, well, in my view, yes. Your Amazons, your Nikes, your Adidas, they're brand. They have position. You're not very likely to go out and look for them. You know where they are. For a smaller business who's trying to impact their locality or get some national reach, then being found in search, whether it's paid or through normal organic search results, is extremely important. You know, everybody's searching for more customers. On the flip side to that, everybody needs to keep their current customers. So this is where the wholly business aspect comes in. So we talk about digital marketing, but we also talk about customer relationships. So how do I keep that relationship with an existing customer?
And that comes back to what you said earlier about looking at what the business already has.
Yes.
And how to grow that rather than just looking for new clients and a churn.
Yeah, definitely. Trying to utilise who you've already sold to. Because if they come back to you, then you've not got the legwork of trying to find and convert a new customer. You're actually working on customers who trust you, that you've built up reputation with, which a lot of companies miss that aspect. So we look at how do you market to them. So instead of sending out thousands of emails to everybody on your customer database, one thing we look at is how can you split that? So this message to this type of person and this message to an existing customer.
Maybe by location or town.
Yeah, location, town, service, product, what you've done with them in the past. Just trying to say, we're still here. Is there anything you need our help for?
And in terms of a new business or a business which is already established who want to get into online marketing, can you offer any practical tips or advice today? How can they increase online business? Any small steps they can take straight away?
Well, the key one is, the first step is always, what is it we do? So very often we will look at somebody's website, we'll look at their email campaigns, and we'll try and figure out, just by looking, what it is the company does. Because if we can't see in 3 seconds from a website clear messaging as to what you do, how you deliver, the value you bring to the customer. Bear in mind, these are the things that Google looks for in search. They want to see that you're adding value to customers.
Is that the test? 3 seconds? It must be clear within
well,
3
3
seconds.
seconds, pretty much. You know, homepage of a website, are you using the right imagery that connects with your audience? Is the message clear? Can the customer see why they should work for you? You know, there's so many businesses out there today that do the same thing. And you've got to differentiate yourself in the market, whether you're a startup or you're established. Doesn't really matter. You have to find what makes you unique. So really all marketing, whether it's offline or online, comes back to that, why should I buy from you?
So there's no particular magic for online marketing or being on a Google search engine. It's really down back to the basics again, about the business's personality and core ethics and service.
What makes you different? Where are you, if you're a service business, where are you actually going to make and add value to the company you're trying to work for? So how many years have you been doing it? Who have you worked with? How have you improved their organisation? How is using your product to actually save them time? This is the message side. You know, when you talk about search, then there are things you do to get positioned in search.
Because you can pay. Can you pay for searches?
You can do paid advertising. So Google obviously clearly does AdWords, which they run text-based ads focused on keyword phrases and locality. And then obviously you can start branching out into Facebook and LinkedIn and some of the other social channels and other search engines. So, you know, we talk about Google being probably about 94% of all search traffic in the UK.
It's amazing. They've got such a big monopoly and a hold over the market. What do you think about that?
Well, they have, and if the European Union are doing their best to try and change that. But in reality, in the Western world, Google is still the prime search engine across the whole of the world.
Is there a backlash against big corporations, the big tech corporations? There's a lot of uneasiness amongst the public about data and how these organizations like Google, Amazon, Facebook are becoming increasingly powerful, very powerful organizations.
Well, they are. You know, Amazon is a well-known platform. You know, if you're in B2C, Amazon it's one of those, it's like if you're selling houses, Rightmove is a tool to be listed on because everybody goes there.
i.e. you've got no choice.
Yeah, it's sort of that no choice because the market knows I got to get a house from there. And Amazon is a trusted store. Most people would probably view Amazon online as, well, that's like going down the town and buying from Debenhams or Marks and Spencer's. Whereas eBay, because it started with that, I'm going to bid, I'm in this bidding war with somebody else to buy your things, then, you know, it has a bit of less trust. So Amazon's positioned itself well. Google is the main search engine, and they're there, and you have to work with them, but then be able to find, well, what can I do? You know, most businesses, whatever size, need a presence. Now, whether that's a full-blown website or a single page, or perhaps in a B2B environment, it's a company page on LinkedIn. Doesn't really, yes. But if I meet you, I'm going to go and look at you. And if what I'm showing is not professional, it isn't clear, it doesn't say what the value is, then why would you want to work with me? So online is extremely important today, if only to support the message and the brand and the value of what you're actually doing.
We've also heard a lot about automation in recent months. In terms of automation will make half the world redundant and we'll all be out of jobs. Lawyers, accountants, architects, everybody will be replaced by robots in the next 50 years.
Oh dear.
Is that really going to happen, do you think? Because there's a lot of talk about it being an actual reality, and many people are convinced that it will happen.
Yeah, I'd say, you know, Google have a big push with, they class it as artificial intelligence. If we look at Tesla with the car, marketing campaigns now, when you register with a company or you buy something, most large brands and even smaller ones will run automation software. So they're not actually going through saying, I need to send them a message. the system is doing it for them. So if you don't respond, it automatically sends one. You know, when you talk to people online using text chat boxes, a lot of them are driven through artificial intelligence. You're talking to a computer and not a real person. Is it a good thing, a bad thing? We could discuss it for a long time. I think we'll see it and it will come in, but from a business perspective, is that giving the people who work with you more opportunity to grow the organisation, because the task that would take their job is being done by a system, which means they can focus on customers. They can focus on what you want them to do more.
So it may become an advantage.
Could be an advantage because you're automating. You know, everybody's trying to automate because it speeds up time, gives quicker response to the customer, adds more value to the business. But a lot of people see that as, well, I don't need you anymore.
It's competition.
Because the computer's doing it. Well, let's use you to do what you're good at, which might be going and finding clients, speaking with clients, thinking about innovation and developing products.
Do you feel there's increasing complexity in the world? Do we now live in a very complex world in the last 10 years particularly? Increasing presence of online and the invasiveness into our lives, whether it's work or personal. Do you think there's complexity now with the online world?
It is complex. Well, we can do lots of things. You know, the idea that we can follow you down the road on your mobile phone because we're bouncing signals or we're listening to where you connect. You know, whether it's wrong or right against privacy, again, that's another discussion. But it's the, you know, the technology is there. Your car, one day when you're so far from home, will automatically know you are 5 minutes away. It will start the kettle, so when you walk through the door, the kettle's boiled. Your fridge, when you take out the milk, it will know when you put it in the weight of the bottle, and it will order fresh milk from the local store to be delivered when it knows you're going to be in. You know, it's there to make our, well, some would say make our lives easier, but it could result in making us lazy.
What about data? A lot of the large organisations are collecting a lot of data about our habits, our shopping, and so on. And where is that all leading to? Because we don't know what data the big corporates have on us, but they do have a huge amount of data. Where is that going?
Hopefully it's going somewhere that they're using it. You know, the idea is if more I know about you, the more of your habits, how you shop, where you go, the things you do, then it means I should be able to personalise and customise services and products to fit your needs. So we're going to see an increase in the terms of web and definitely digital marketing around personalisation. And, you know, the bridge between the online and the offline world, the fact that you shop at these places online and they have a physical store. So when you go into shopping malls, if we're really using the data effectively, I can get a profile of who you are. So when you walk into Debenhams, you've used the Debenhams store online, they know what you buy. So as you walk into Debenhams, it recognises you through the app on your phone, and then it sends you targeted, focused offers for in-store. Now, this is happening today already.
Is there a lack of control in that? It seems very big brotherish, as if we're losing control of our lives to the online and computer world.
Well, yeah, and it is, you know. I work with quite a lot of young people, students, and the attitude towards social media. But, you know, Facebook, from an advertising platform, extremely useful for B2C because they know everything about you. They know who your friends are, they know what you like, they know where you go, they know the type of pictures you share, they see what comments you put. But probably, yeah, but we are all very easy to put it there. So we, you know, people complain about privacy, but in reality, you sign up to Google for a Google service, you sign up to Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, you're filling in all of this data about yourself, but they're quite happy to socialise, but then the concerns become the privacy. And I think, you know, we're going to see more around privacy and what companies can do with data. So the big move with the GDPR stuff coming in next year is going to change how companies are expected to handle data.
And James, I remember 8 years ago when we started the Sikh channel. In the last 8 years, the media landscape has changed enormously. When we started 8 years ago, people were still watching traditional linear television on Sky and so on, via satellite and via normal television, if you like, in the living room. And in the last few years, we've now got Netflix, we've got the iPlayers, people are watching catch-up TV and so on. And that's meant a lot of change for Sikh channel as well, in terms of our viewership.
Yeah, making it available anywhere, any device, any place, that you've got a connection. You know, the idea, you know, I joke with the students at the university at Warwick, at the end of the day, did you see this programme on the television last night? And they're like, TV? We don't watch TV. They watch short clips, they watch funny videos, they watch movies on Netflix and all of these type of things. And it's a different mentality. Whereas to me, Netflix is something where I can't find something to watch on the television channel.
As a secondary point.
Yeah, as a secondary point. But, you know, Netflix changed business models. Subscription. So in the online world, you know, coming back to businesses and now they can use online, subscription's a great way because people pay you for something they may never use.
The Sikh channel is a free-to-air TV station because our core message is to bring the Sikh faith to the whole world. And because of that, we've never chosen subscription, even though we have a very loyal following of viewers. And our aim is to get as many people watching as possible. In the last 8 years, TV's changed enormously, and our Sky viewers do tend to have an older profile. And we do have a lot of viewers online. What advice can you give to the Sikh channel as a TV station?
I think you're not doing subscription because of your loyal base. And probably now, if you were to introduce something like that, because you've been going so long, it would be very difficult. So you've got to keep giving the value. You've got to make sure people can access information when they want it, which is YouTube channels, channels online, all of this type of stuff, distribution to any place.
Facebook.
Yeah, and it's understanding, the key one is understanding the segments, understanding the different types of user and making sure you are giving them what they need. You know, down the road, you may, you know, one of the online newspapers, they had subscription models. You could get this level of access, you could get a paper version, or you could get this a top level access. So they decided, well, if you have the top level access, you get the paper subscription as well for free. So they did a pricing matrix that people thought, well, I'm getting that. If I want that, I get that for free. So I'm bundling something in that wasn't a problem. So there's lots of ways. I think you've just got to keep trying to understand what the user wants and deliver. And if you've been going 8 years and you've grown and you're distributing onto totally different platforms, you clearly have an understanding of what your message is and why you're there. It's just, you know, listening to the audience and is that viable?
And in terms of new businesses, people are starting out with a brand new business. Should they wait to develop online once it's established in maybe a couple of years' time? Or should they look at online straight away from day one?
I think definitely looking at a presence. So if I go and look for your business, if I look for you, I can find you. And that may just be one page that says this is what we do, this is the value we bring, this is how you contact us. And then obviously, as time goes on, there's going to be more content. The worst thing companies can do is, we're going to do online, but I need all of the content first.
It's a gradual build-up.
Because you've got to build it up. You know, large websites don't hit the market on day one with hundreds of pages. They will hit the market with a small number of pages, and as time goes on and they develop their position in the market, they will create content, they'll expand services, they'll introduce new products, they'll extend the range of things they sell, and with that becomes content and growth of a website.
It's all very time consuming, creating content.
Yeah.
And for a small business, time is precious. An owner-managed business, often the person has to do several different jobs, and online or the website might take a low priority. What would you say to those people?
I'd say make sure the presence you've got says what you do, shows where you add the value. If you can't write content because you're busy doing other things, then find some people who will. Or just go, okay, the role of the website for my business is this. Be clear on what it's there to do, so it doesn't grow into this enormous thing that you can't manage and you can't keep up to date with. It's going to say, okay, it's there to tell people what we do, allow them to contact us and generate us leads. As the business then grows, start adding in the content.
What about apps? With apps, at one time there was a bit of a craze and a big drive for companies to have apps.
Yeah.
But apps seem to be less important now. Is that right?
A lot of big companies have moved from apps to mobile responsive websites, because an app is platform specific, which means I have to write it for the iPhone, I have to write it for Samsung on Android, I have to write it for a Windows-based phone, which increases cost. The app actually gives you the ability to tie more into the device, so I know where you are, I can use the camera and features on the phone. But a lot of companies are realizing, well, actually, if I build a website that works as mobile, then I've got the best of both worlds.
Yes.
Anybody can access and use the system.
So no particular need for an app?
Not really, unless you have a specific need and you're at the size where you think your customer base want the app. Because obviously the app, you can store login details, you can store data, you can do all of these types of things.
That's great.
You know, so it's one of those. Again, it's a decision the business has to sit back and go, do we do that or don't we? What are the options? What are the costs?
That's great.
And what's the value to the user?
Thank you, James. That's a very interesting and useful insight for our viewers into the world of digital marketing, online marketing. Finally, the final part of the show is when we put our guests on the spot and ask them, what do you know about the Sikh faith? Can you tell us any general things that you know about Sikhs or the Sikh faith?
Only through meeting people. My lad plays hockey, and he plays in a team that they're Sikh in their religion.
Oh, really? Which team is that?
Khalsa.
The Khalsa hockey
Leamington.
team in Leamington.
Yeah, so he plays there now. He's been playing there for, this will be his, going into his second season. All I know is all the people I've met are extremely nice. So you can see, you know, the character of people and the values that people have behind them. So they're all extremely friendly, from the younger ones to the older ones. They're always there, happy to see you, shake your hand. And what I've learnt is, whenever we leave the clubhouse, you have to go round because everybody expects you to say goodbye.
That's right.
And, you know, it's a family. Yes. It's a culture. Everybody knows each other. And that comes across quite well, extremely well.
And have you been to the Leamington Gurdwara?
No, I haven't.
Please do go.
Yeah.
Because they have a range of activities there which you might find interesting. Yep. And also there's the free kitchen, which is a very important part of the Sikh tradition and faith, is to welcome everybody and to feed everybody who comes to the Gurdwara with the langar, which is extremely delicious. I think you'll enjoy that.
Yeah.
So please do go to Leamington Gurdwara and try the langar.
Well, very good, the feeding people, because that's a big thing at the minute with where the whole of society is.
Absolutely.
It's making sure that everybody has a hot meal.
That's right. A lot of those young Sikh groups like Midland Langar Seva Society, who recently won an award, they go out into city centres and feed the homeless as well.
It's brilliant. Brilliant.
That's great.
Excellent.
So thank you very much for joining the Sikh channel.
Yeah, thank you.
And we wish you well for the future. Please do keep in touch and perhaps give us an update about the online marketing world in the future.
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
We're happy to do so. Thank you.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.